Good evening. Pod test time again after, well, I did 3 of them yesterday. I guess that's a fair amount. Plus 11 hot sauce tests, which I will be uploading. Well, I might have some uploaded by the time I upload this video, because I haven't done hot sauce tests in a while. In any case, we are going to do one from Dan. This is a Trinidad Scorpion Orange. You can see it's almost got the stinger happening, and actually I creased it. It had a little bit of a dry spot right there. You can see inside of it. But I'm just going to cut that off while I'm removing the seeds. So let us cut her open and see. Alright, so here's what it looks like. It's fairly moist with capsaicin on the inside wall here, but again with the yellows and oranges it's kind of hard to tell because capsaicin tends to be a similar color scheme to this. So it's a little bit harder to tell unless you're looking for the glistening, greasy look to the inside walls here, including the placental tissue itself. So I'm going to take the seeds out, and I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. It turns out that quite a lot of these seeds weren't quite viable yet. The pepper is totally ripe, which is weird. Trinidad Scorpion Orange. Quite a cool look to it. So, let's see how it is. Well, it's going to be hot. Sweet and tangy, but there's so much bitterness from the capsaicin. This is really going to be a hot one. Oh. Man, this is hot. My face is sweating up a storm here. Oh, whole tongue is just swollen up, feeling already. Oh. Throat, it's building fast. Oh man, oh, the tongue. Flavor-wise, similar to other yellow chinnets, kind of in the vicinity. If you were to take Naga and Fatali, swirl it with yellow 7, and then swirl that with Scotch bonnet, somewhere in the melding of those things, it's kind of the citrusy, the brighter, not the musky like the red Trinidads and everything like that. Throat's building. It was strong. Although, that being said, it's not feeling like it's quite as intense as the red Trinidad related ones, because those are just absolutely brutal. It's always the red ones that kick my ass the most. That 7-pot Chiguanas, the Douglas Butch Tea, the red Douglas, or the original red Butt, the regular Trinidad Scorpion, the Moruga Scorpion red. Those are just, it's actually developing into quite a manageable burn here. It's pretty intense in the throat, but it's not nearly as stingy as I thought it was going to be. When I was chewing it up, I could feel that just intense heat. It's hot in the throat, don't get me wrong. I'd probably put this one at 700,000, give or take. So it's definitely a bit hotter than a standard habanero. Lips are going off just boom, boom. But it's not like molten metal getting poured on my face or anything like that. It's just pretty warm. Oh, it's more of a sweat and burn than anything. That's really, oh, the tongue is picking up a little bit. Yeah, now that I've eaten the pepper, the drool factor is not all that bad. I mean, it's still coming a little bit, but it's definitely slowed down. If I leave alone and quiet for a moment, the burn kind of reminds me of, look, when you have a fire and it's starting to die down a little bit and you blow on it, embers flare up and then the kind of rolls the flames back to life. Kind of what it's like on the tongue. Although definitely the throat burn is probably the most noticeable. Actually, it kind of starts in the roof of the mouth and then drifts down into the throat and then pools up into this sharp, tiny hot cold. It's not like the whole throat is just I can feel the whole throat is burning, but there's this especially small focus of a hot cold that if it was surrounding the entire inside area of my esophagus here, I'd be probably hurting. But it's fairly manageable in that regard. Lips are going still at a pretty good level, but not getting any worse now. I'd say it's probably peaked, but it's not died down a whole lot. It's just kind of floating along. Just ever so slightly tapering off. So that one was interesting the way it, while I was chewing up the pepper, it just felt super, super ridiculously hot. And just kind of did some damage really quickly. And then once I swallowed the pepper, it kind of, I mean, it's, oof, my face is sweating. But wasn't extremely painful on any aspect of the burn, really. It's approaching super hot, but I wouldn't say quite super hot. We'd say, yeah, like, I'd stick with my estimate of 700,000. It's definitely quite a bit hotter than a standard orange habanero. That much is for sure. But again, I wouldn't put it in anywhere close to 1 million Scovilles. Not anywhere close to like a full heat Dshlogg, or certainly not in the range of the red sevens or red Trinidad scorpions or marugas or anything in that upper echelon, however you want to pronounce that word, whatever. Excuse me. Oh yeah, it's actually settled into a righteous level, we'll say. That's it's even. It's pretty intense, but it's not completely acrid, choking, extremely painful burn. Because it actually does coat like the whole top of my tongue, and it kind of starts at the tip of the tongue and gradually picks up in burn intensity as you move the back of the tongue and into the throat. It's a gradual enough ascent from centimeter to centimeter as you move back in towards the throat. Oh yeah. Alright, well, it's not getting any worse than it is tapering off. It's probably going to be sticking around for another 10 to 15 minutes unless I go and cleanse my palate with some half and half or something along those lines. So, yeah. Thank you, Dan, for another fairly decent tasting. Not the best one. It was a very strong bitter capsaicin edge to it, but the flavor itself was pretty decent, and it had sweet and tartness to it. That would be good added to food. But, excuse me. Yeah, pretty righteous rock and burn, but not completely over the top, at least according to my standards. So yeah, check it out. Thanks, Dan, and thank you guys for watching. I will see you again soon.